Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Esports Mini League 1. You're here for the second round here at Singapore. And, well, if you missed the last one, go back and watch the German Grand Prix. Absolutely brilliant racing, battles all over the field. So that will be one to watch when you're ready. Go ahead and watch it, and then come back here to watch this one, obviously. Great to see you subscribing here, up to 358. Great stuff. We started out the stream at around 350, so great to see. Thank you so much for subscribing. Don't forget as well to follow the league on Twitter at Esports Mini. You can follow me on there if you really want to, at KS McGinley. I could spell it for you, but we'd be here all night, I'm afraid. So, German Grand Prix then. ILRT have, well, they've made a state of intent. They really have. 1, 2, 3. Then their other driver finished in 7th. Clean Vigor, really, from the outset, looked like the only team that can come anywhere close. I mean, Verstappen, Dropia, Cohen. I've got to see where the other QVR car finished. It was Malc who had a race there. 14th place he finished in the end, so unfortunate for him. But, yeah, dominant start. And what could have been without Thomas's disconnection from the race? That really could have settled things very early on. But, of course, there's settling things on the track, and then there's also actually settling them. You can have the fastest team on paper, but you've got to rely on your teammates as well. This is especially important for this championship because every single position scores points. You've got to remember that the whole team has to get to the checkered flag in order to score the maximum amount of points. So I believe first place is 25 points, second place is 22, third place is 20, fourth place is 18, fifth place is 16, then sixth place is 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and so on and so forth until we get down to 1 point for 20th place. So that's really important that you make, or you get all the cars to the checkered flag. That is so important. But sometimes you can let the frustration get the better of you. It's happened to me before. It will happen to you as well. Sometimes you're just fed up and you just want to basically quit. But this league and this championship does punish that. So let's see what happens. Basically, we had some great clean racing last time out. Hopefully we get exactly and more of the same as we head to Singapore. Now Singapore obviously is, well, it's a tricky track. 23 corners around the Marina Bay circuit. Not only that, but it's more considered an endurance because when we normally race here in 50% races, sometimes you're looking at about an hour. You know, if it rains, and if you're just unlucky with the weather out there, it can protrude and really exceed an hour if you're unlucky. So it is a true test of endurance. So that means that the 25% race could, in theory, go on and for half an hour, but we don't know until we get there. I won't be updating you with the points. If you've watched previous mini leagues, the very first one, I was not very good at it, so I volunteered to not do it. So we'll have to find out how those points are. You'll have to find out on @esportsmini on Twitter. I know I'm doing a lot of plugging tonight. It's great. You want me to stop? Never. I'll never stop. So yeah, a pretty much almost perfect start for ILRT, and they look set to keep going. But you come to you've got a track like Germany, which is fast flowing and lots of mid-speed corners, only a couple of low-speed corners, mainly the hairpin at turn 6. But with Singapore, the walls are very close, and you've got to remember that it's just a matter of time. And if you make a mistake at Singapore, chances are your race is over because you'll hit the wall. If you make it at Germany, there's certain places where that's not precisely true. So we've really got to see what happens here. Make sure you're joining in the chat as well. Make sure you're supporting your favourite team. Who are you supporting tonight? ILRT, I imagine, will have some favourites now going into the next race, I wonder. But of course, when we have a look at this, just previewing the race coming up, which is at Singapore, obviously. That's happening in just a couple of minutes' time. Then we have next week, we're going to Belgium at 8:30 GMT. Then we're also going to Japan at 9:15 GMT. So hopefully you'll tune in then. Hopefully we'll get to see you there. Hopefully we'll have some more great racing, and we'll have to see whether anyone can actually stop ILRT or not. That will be the huge question. I mean, they looked bulletproof in that race. They looked like a well-oiled machine. They knew exactly when to let a teammate pass and when to battle. They just looked really good out there. So they'll be hoping for more of the same when they get out there. And it's very clear to see that the communication is key when it comes to races like this, especially when you're every point and every position matters. When they all can score points, it's imperative that you get all the cars to the checkered flag. That's the first #1 rule, is getting all the cars to the checkered flag. The second part of it comes in the form of doing well. So yes, you can do well, you can win all the races, but if your other teammates are down the order, as we've seen in the past, that team doesn't necessarily win. What can happen is if there are, some drivers who are not performing well, then it comes to a point where the team doesn't do well. So there is that to consider. So I wonder what's going on here. We shall wait and see. I think normally it's a new lobby when it comes to this. However, I know from experience that we have had different lobbies. We have had same lobbies. So I'll just have to wait and see what is happening there. But in the meantime, though, make sure you are buckled up. Make sure you've got a drink with you. I know I've got a drink with me. I didn't drink actually at all during that last one. So if you'll excuse me. Yeah, it can really get you, can't it? Especially when you shout down the mic. By the way, I love this mic, by the way. It's very nice. What it can do is pretty cool. I'm going to show you. Can I? I don't know. Let me just experiment with something. Let's pass the time. I've got an experiment to do. Now, if I've done this right, hopefully it sounds like now I'm in the left or I'm in the right. It's so much fun. I love this mic. I love it. The only problem is it's on a switch at the back, so I have to reach behind and I have to basically lean over here. It doesn't sound great, but I can switch it back. It's no problem. The only thing is the switch is very loud, so that's why I mute the mic. But when I mute the mic, it creates a loud sound as well. Then you have to make sure it's on the right setting, and I shouldn't have done that in the first place. Anyway, we're counting down now. I hope you enjoyed that. We're counting now down to the Singapore Grand Prix. And like I said, it is a demanding track, 23 corners around the Marina Bay Street Circuit, and it's thrown up some blasts in the past. We've got 19 drivers again, CPI 1 car short. They only had 2 finishes in the last race. They'll be hoping that they can get all 4 cars to the checkered flag and just see what the damage is as we head towards next week. But I'm looking forward to Singapore. Singapore does throw up some great races. It does throw up some amazing ones, especially punishing those who aren't as consistent. But 23 corners around the circuit. A track that's famed for being very humid, very hot, even in these nighttime conditions. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Let's see what happens then as we make our way towards the start of the race. And I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying the race so far. I hope you've enjoyed the championship so far. So let's get some support in the chat then. Who are you all supporting tonight as we head towards round 2? It's safe to say that ILRT have quite some distance, quite some margin in the championship so far. However, anything can happen in Mini League. It only takes one race for it to basically all change around. It has happened before. It will definitely happen again, but will it be this time? A demanding track. I remember league racing. One of my first league races was in Monza, but then shortly afterwards it was Singapore. I had, until I raced in Tin Top, I had never had a retirement. I'd never retired on an F1 game from a race, which was quite fun. More on that in a second as we're riding on board with Lewis then in the CPI car as he makes his way now towards the start-finish line. Now on towards turn 1, using plenty of that tarmac on the right-hand side, and that may have been an invalidation outright here, but we're still going to ride on board as he makes his way through the next series of corners. On now towards turn 4 and then towards the fast right-hander of turn 5. Flicking the car in, hoping it sticks, and a little bit of oversteer there, but he catches that beautifully now. Heading into the DRS zone through turn 6 and onwards now towards turn 7. You can see, keeping that steering wheel as straight as possible. We see Lewis Hamilton and Mark Webber collide here at turn number 7. Heading now towards turn 8. A tight right-hander here that can catch you out if you're not careful. Now coming in towards turn 9. A corner that basically opens up, then narrows, then opens up again. In towards turn 10, the old Singapore sling. Remember when this used to be just 3 curbs? I do. Heading now in towards turn 11, now on towards turn 12, on towards the Anderson Bridge now of turn 13. The hairpin just ahead for Felipe Massa, opposite lock as he made a move down towards the inside. Now you've got to be careful about the acceleration here, keeping that steering wheel as straight as possible, as straight as you possibly can. On now towards turn 14. Turning in, and again you can use a little bit of that road on the left hand side, although it's not rubbered in. Be careful if you use it. Heading now in towards the 90-degree section, I like to call it, through turn 17 as we head short sprint towards turn 18. Under the grandstand we go in towards turn 19, then it's turn 20, the right hander ahead through the short sharp left-hander of turn 20. Be careful not to understeer too much as you head through there. And now towards turns 22 and 23 as we head towards the start-finish line. It is Louis who grabs pole position, and it is another 1, 2, 3 from ILRT. They are in dominant form right now, and this time, having been disqualified from the last qualifying session for invalidating his lap time, this time Louis will start from the front of the pack. Amir will qualify in second place, 4 tenths down on his teammate. Rafa in third, Will G fourth, Forbes in fifth, with Cohen in 6th, Deneen in 7th, Spag in 8th, Verstappen 9th, Dropia in 10th, Slimbo 11th, Siege in 12th, Alex in 13th, Thomas in 14th there, made a mistake on the lap, as did Vaporon in 15th. Maladiktis and Mays didn't set a time in that session, they retired on their own accord. I don't think Mays is actually racing, that's why he's left the session. And then Sam and Lewis both invalidating their lap times, 18th and 19th. So one of the CPI cars and one of the Livid Racing or Livid Academy cars not setting a valid lap time. So then we'll head to the Singapore Grand Prix, another ILRT 1, 2, 3, but Thomas this time starting down in P14. So that's not great, however, we've got to see how that develops. I mean, Singapore is a much trickier track to overtake than at Germany. There's not many hard braking zones, and if they are, they're normally harsh left-handers or right-handers, but Thomas has left the session. Does he appear on the right-hand side? He doesn't. No, we've got Amir, Rafa, Louis, but no Thomas. That's a DNS for Thomas. Outright. Well, it couldn't get any worse, I thought, for Thomas. I was starting down in P14. Now he disconnects. At the vital moment, you need to stay connected to the lobby. So that will be a DNS for one of the ILRT cars. That is such a shame. Such a shame, but I mean, ILRT will have to carry on with the 3 cars that they have out there right now, and they're talented drivers. We've seen that before. As you can see in the night sky, Thomas has rejoined the session, but to me, that looks like it's going to be a DNS for Thomas, as much as he would love to join back in. But, unbelievable. You work hard to get into that qualifying session. There you can see, just in the background there, in front of a Livid car, or sorry, just behind one of the, I believe that's a, they did that on purpose, didn't they? The TTG and the Livid Racing cars, didn't they? They did that on purpose. But I believe the TTG cars have the red front and rear wings, and the Livid cars have the black ones. That's the main difference you can see out there. Yeah, it's going to be tricky. At least ILRT have white, black, and yellow. Lovely. That stands out. That's perfect. Clean Vigor also have that teal design. It's a lovely design, that teal, white and black, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous under these night lights. And that's something I have to say, is that these liveries come alive under the lights here in Singapore. And yeah, you can see there the black and red of well, if I didn't struggle before at the German Grand Prix, which I did, you can see how much I'm probably going to struggle here under the night lights, where black and red become very, very similar. Oh, it's going to be tough. However, there is an update in the chat there with all the points. Here you can see ILRT 81 points, Clean Vigor 46, TTG 41, Livid 31, and CPI 6 points. Unfortunately for them, they had 2 retirements last time out in Germany, so they'll be hoping now that this is a race where they get back on form and get back, well, no pun intended, get back on track. Well, we are heading now in towards the closing stages of the formation at 15 laps here in Singapore as we head with Louis through the right angle section, now heading on towards turns 19 and 20. Sorry, 18 and 19. I got that wrong. I've already got that wrong. So Louis then started from last place last time out, got himself a podium. Goodness knows what he could be capable here in Singapore. Let us know in the chat then, who are you supporting tonight? Is it ILRT? Are you backing them for another 1, 2, 3? Who knows? They have a DNS in this race. That could be a saving grace for other teams around them. How about TTG? Well, they qualified 4th, 5th, 15th. And I believe one of them hasn't started either. I believe Siege has dropped out of this one. So they're running with 3 as well. Maybe Clean Vigor are your team. Best of the rest pretty much in Germany. Or how about the underdogs, CPI? Are you supporting them? Let's find out. Also, Livid Academy. Take your pick and let us know in the chat. But we are moments away from round 2 of Esports Mini League here at Singapore. And in true untraditional Esports Mini League style, this start is actually going to count. It is 5 red lights. We are underway, and what are the starts like? It's a really, really good start from all of the IRT cars as we make our way now down towards turn 1. Will G looking for a move up the inside, but he's got to be careful there because Forbes is looking for a move too. There's a little bit of debris coming out from the sideline there as Siege, my apologies, is in this race. He's down to 16th now though as we make our way now towards the next right-hander of turn number 5 here. You've got to be very careful here. Look at this. Most of the cars running too wide going through that fast right-hander there. Very brave to do that on lap number 1. Meanwhile then, this is Spag and Alex battling away down towards turn 7. Big lock up there from the Livid car, and the CBI car of Lewis tries to take advantage. He's on the outside here of turn 8, but Spag just about keeps it in check there and can hold the position, but Lewis gave it a good go there for the CPI car. Oh, there's contact in the background there. There's 3 cars, 2 cars around. Somehow Alex there gets away with it. He got tagged from behind and spun around, but there is a little bit of debris, so Alex, although he got spun around, there was a little bit of a half spin there. Oh, there's contact! Big collision there. That's Vaporon and Maledictus heading in towards turn, I believe that's turn 11 there. So a little bit of contact, a little bit of coming together between the two of them. Didn't quite see it on the stream. In fact, I was just about to cut away from it before I saw it. And then I did cut away from it, so that was a shame. Meanwhile then, Louis, Amir and Rafa pretty much unaffected at the top of the table there. Will G in 4th with Forbes in 5th. Deneen in 6th place there. Good start from him. He didn't have a great race last time out, but he's back on it now for Livid. He's the highest running Livid car right now. Cohen in 7th place. Verstappen in 8th. Slimbo 9th there with Spag in 10th place. Yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3. Here you can see Slimbo. Oh, Verstappen runs very wide at 23 and gives away the position to Slimbo as we now make our way on towards the second lap of this race. There is a CPI car of Lewis who is out to get more positions here. He's on the medium tyres. Verstappen's really struggling for grip out here as we headed through turn 3, through the slight kink of 4, now towards turn 5 here. And you can see there is Spag running wide. There is Lewis who tries to take full advantage. A little bit of contact as they headed through turn 5. Now through turn 6 they go. No DRS, of course. Here is Verstappen, oh sorry, Lewis here trying to get a move around the outside at turn 7 here. Can he get this move stuck then? There you can see that is Spag who's still trying to hold on around the outside at turn 8. But Lewis gets the position here. And as the highest running CPI car in this race so far, he knows that move was crucial. Great stuff from Lewis. He's now up to 10th place. Well, Forbes here, running on board with him as he heads now over the Anderson Bridge towards turn 13. And you can see right behind his teammate of Will G. Meanwhile, the QVR car of Cohen right behind Deneen, but he's also sandwiched in that Livid Racing sandwich, Livid Academy, I should say, the sandwich there. Meanwhile, Lewis has had a belting start right now. He didn't qualify, of course. He got his lap time invalidated, but he's running in 10th place right now. Really good start from him. Dropia, meanwhile, for QVR. Struggling a little bit down in 12th place right now, but he is still behind Spag, just in the distance there. Well, let's jump on board with the ILRT cars as once again they're running in pretty much great formation here. Louis yellow on his car is a little bit green to me. There is a position. Oh, that's Will G who's come into the pit lane on lap 2. That's a very, very early stop. I wonder if this is, well, this will either be mediums or hards. Obviously, looks like medium tyres are at the ready then for the TTG car. On they go, and away he goes. Yellow flags in Sector 3. DRS is enabled. I'm just trying to see where this yellow flag is in Sector 3. Not quite sure where it was. Vaporon has come into the pits. Yellow flag somewhere out there, but they're gone now, whatever they were. Meanwhile, here comes Cohen then. Diving down the inside of Deneen in towards turn 7. Side by side they go. Little bit close there for comfort, but they don't make contact. And as they head through turn 8, Deneen holds on. And he is now in 5th place, of course, with cars hitting in ahead of them as they head now towards turn 10, the old Singapore sling. Lewis in 8th place now, looking to try and make as many positions as possible. Maybe a Singapore specialist we're here with Lewis now. Oh, taps the back of Slimbo just slightly there as we now head over the Anderson Bridge. Slightly out of control there, heading towards turn 13. But can he get the traction down here? One thing for sure is these soft tyres don't look like they're lasting long at all, because Lewis here on the medium tyres looking for a move down the inside of Slimbo in towards turn 14. He's got the move done. Great stuff there from Lewis. And Alex, one of the CPI cars, has retired from the race. He's crashed out there at the old Singapore sling, and he's out of the race at turn 10. Very unfortunate there. CPI now down to 3 runners in this race. So unfortunate for them. No, they are down to 2. No, they are down to 2 because they've only now got Lewis, who's just ahead of Slimbo here. I'm just trying to find the other CPI car out there. It's tough. I can't see anybody, but anyway, Lewis, meanwhile, is doing all the CPI job for them right now. Look at Deneen. He's looking, putting Deneen under pressure then, heading out of turn number 3. Onwards now towards turn 5, but couldn't quite find that move past. But, taps the back of Deneen. He's got to be careful of that. Now with some DRS, but look at this. He's got for close company. That's the other livid racing car of Spag, who's looking to try and get past both of them there. Is it going to be 3 wide down towards turn 7? And it is. Lewis tries to go around the outside. He goes off the track there. I wonder if he has to give that position back. I don't think he does. He's going to try and go away into the distance. Did he complete that move off track? I wonder. Well, he won't care right now because he's now ahead of Deneen there in 4th place. Let's have a look at the tyres there. You can see Will G downwards. Everybody has stopped and gone onto the medium tyres. That will now get them, well, should get them to the end of the race. Over the Anderson Bridge we go, and then down towards turn 13. There you can see that was a little bit of lock up there from Slimbo as he tries to chase down his teammate now. Onwards we go. Oh, a little bit of a moment in the background there. I believe that was it was a livid car of Spag getting out of shape out of turn 13, heading up towards 14, and that just gave Siege a free position. Thank you very much, he says. I'll take that from you. Verstappen here, looking to try and work hard. He's got his teammate of Cohen ahead of him, Vaporon, with a 5-second penalty. That's not a stop-go penalty. That's a slap on the wrist, 5 seconds at the end of the race for speeding in the pit lane. Meanwhile then, Slimbo looking behind his teammate here as they both now come in. Now let's hope they don't share the same pit box here. They don't have to share the same pit box, but they may do, heading down the pit lane now. Of course, it can put you in the same pit box as someone from another team. It's very weird like that, but it can happen. But on the tyres go, on to a set of mediums, and they'll be underway once again. Will G then with a 1:38.3, setting the fastest lap of the race so far. Just to clarify something, there is no point for fastest lap of the race. 0 points. You get nothing for it. It's just a little bit of pride there. Meanwhile, Amir looking very tastily at this battle ahead of him. Rafa is in 6th place. Will G and Louis have jumped him there, but if I know Amir, we'll try and get this position back. Will G, though, look at this. Even with DRS, Louis here is managing to stay ahead. That said, though, I think Will G would have turned down the ERS deployment there as we head now in towards turn 8. Onwards now towards turn 9. That fast left-hander, which sort of narrows just in the corner there, can really catch you out if you've got a car that likes the understeer. it can catch you out because the grip loses so quickly there. Heading through turn 10, onwards now towards turn 11, then through that left-hander kink of turn 12, over the bridge. There's a little bit of debris on the Anderson Bridge there, heading down towards turn 13. So someone's made contact with the wall there. Amir very close to the right-hand side wall on the exit of turn 13, but he's right behind Will G. And for TTG, they need this. They need to stay ahead of some of the ILRT cars as yellow flags in Sector 2. That is Sam in the Livid Academy car out of the race. Now, where has he gone off now? We're running on board with Maledictus. There's another one. Here we go into turn 11. Oh, look at this. It's made contact with the wall there, and that is Sam out of the Singapore Grand Prix, out of round 2 of Mini League 1. So Livid now, I believe, down to 3 cars in the race. Yes, Slimbo, Deneen and Spag, 11th, 12th and 13th respectively. Dropya and Siege come into the pits then. That's going to leave Lewis out there. And here comes Rafa down the inside of Will G into turn 1. Will G holds true out the outside of turn 2 and keeps that position with him. Great stuff there. And you know what? Rafa thought, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try it. But Will G was having none of it, but look at this now. I think Will G is going to be a little bit of a sitting duck here. Round the outside at turn 5 and 6. Onwards now towards turn 7. And Slimbo looks like he's got the move done. But look at that then, a TTG car of, I believe that's Will G, it is. Having none of it. He tried to move down the inside at turn 8. Nothing doing from him. But he's got to be careful because here comes Amir. Looking around the outside at turn 9. Wow, that was brave to go around there. Fair play to Will G. He didn't have to give that space, but he did. And, well, a little bit of lag going on there that helps the move stick. But Amir won't care. He's now up to 4th place. And that was a crucial, crucial move that had to be made there. And I think Will G's heart would have sunk there. He knows he could have kept up with those ILRT cars, but he just battled too hard. He didn't pick his battle right, and he's lost out to 2 of the cars now. Meanwhile, Dropya now behind the 2 Livid cars. Now Spag's out of the race. That's another Livid car out of the race. Is this at the same place? It must be. Maledictus is thinking, well, 2 positions in 2 laps. That's not too bad from this position. He's lost it big time at turn 11 there. Wow. Big time crash for Spag there. He's out of the race too. Well, that is 2 cars off of the same team at the same corner. Well, you can't make this up. You really can't. Meanwhile then, a little bit of a tail or tank slapper there from Siege out of 21. And there is Dropya looking behind of Deneen, heading in towards turns 1, 2 and 3. As Deneen now picks up a 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, riding on board with Amir, chasing down Rafa. And I wonder here if team orders are in place. Well, Rafa's holding firm. Currently, it is a ILRT 234, but that could change because Lewis has got to try and, well, he's got to pit, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Dropya has got past Deneen, has he? In towards turn 7. They're still side by side as we head now up towards turn 8. Then the Livid car still looking up the inside there, but Dropya holds on around the outside. And for the Livid, for the QVR team, he holds on and gets the position. Great stuff there from Dropya up the position. Meanwhile, then, the 2 ILRT cars of Rafa and Amir have got to be careful that they don't fall into that trap of battling each other. They've got Will G behind them and Forbes isn't too far behind either. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Now, I wonder who that could be. I think it was Vapor on there on the Anderson Bridge. So let's see. I think there might be damage to that front wing. There is on the left-hand side end plate. That is gone. And unfortunately for Vaporon, he's got that front wing damage. Luckily, though, he's still in the race. But we will have to wait and see. Here we go then. Amir still riding aboard with him as we head now towards turn 1. Lap 8 of this Grand Prix. We are halfway through. And Lewis is still leading for CPI, but he is yet to stop in this race. The only driver yet to stop here. In towards turn 3 we go. Still riding aboard with the ILRT car of Amir as we head now towards turn number 5. Still on towards turn 6. Flying right-hander here. DRS wide open for Amir. But again, it just looks like they're working together here to try and use the slipstream, use the DRS to their advantage, and try and break away from Will G, which is working because they're now 2.4 ahead of Will G. And Forbes is now closing in on the car of Will G. Meanwhile, then Dropya closing in on Slimbo ahead of him. Remember, all positions score points so long as you make it to the checker flag under your own power. Vaporon is into the pits. He's now putting on a new front wing. We've got Malc, by the way, in 13th place. He pitted very early on. I believe he had damage. He put on hard tyres and is just trying to now get to the end of the race. He's moved up 2 positions with 2 Livid Academy cars retiring from the race, so it can't be too bad for him. But he is having a little bit of a lonely race, probably the loneliest race of all the drivers out there so far, if not for Vaporon, because he's a lap down now on Malc. Let's see here. I think he is still in that car because it's solid as anything. So he's a lap down on Malc. So not gone well for Vaporon, but fair play to him because he's still in the race. Lewis, at long last, comes into the pits for the CPI team. The only CPI car in the running, with Alex retiring from the race. But finally he comes into the pits and will put on a set of soft tyres. Away he goes. And onwards now down the pit lane. Where will he rejoin, I wonder? Well, riding aboard with Slimbo could be somewhere at here, I reckon. Lewis could rejoin in around about 7th place. There he is emerging from the pit lane. Towards turn 1 we go. It's going to be tough, but he holds firm in towards turn 3. And there we go. Lewis now in P7. He gets the move done. Gets right on with it. And gets going once again. Meanwhile, further up the field, Amir battling away. Meanwhile, the 2 TTG cars come together. That is not what you want to do as teammates. And Forbes and Will G come together at turn 7. Disaster for the team there. And the absolute one thing you cannot do in Esports Mini League, the absolute #1 rule. Don't crash into your teammate. Well, that rule's gone out the window now, and that's allowed Cohen to get a free position up to 5th place he goes. Complete breakdown of communication there has cost them big time. Well, they'll live to rue that one, and Will G's lost it completely into the hairpin here. He lost front wing, he couldn't stop the car, and he's hit the CPI car there in the hairpin. And meanwhile, Dropia tries to take advantage of the chaos here as Slimbo and Dropia go side by side now as we head towards the right-hander here. The QVR car has the inside line, but he has to give it up there. Slimbo holds true and holds firm. And the QVR car of Dropia just couldn't quite find that way past. And it's all gone wrong for Will G, as you'll see a blue screen come up because I tried to click his name. He retired just as I did that. And he is now out of the race entirely. Well, what could have been, what should have been for Will G, in a great position for him and the team, has ended in absolute disaster. Well, that will allow, there he is then, crashed out. I believe that is at turn 18. Well, that is unfortunate there. Meanwhile, Dropia doesn't get the best exit. Lewis, meanwhile, recovering now. Up the inside he goes in towards turn 5. He's got front wing damage. He wasn't scared, though, as we head now towards turn 6. Here we go, then. Lewis has to drop back here. I don't think he has DRS. No, he doesn't. He still goes for the move up the inside at turn 7 there. You cannot fault Lewis for his absolute tenacity. That was great driving there from the CPR car. He doesn't care he's the only one of his team in the race. He's grabbing every single point he can. He's now up to 8th place. Meanwhile then, Slimbo trying to chase down Verstappen then as we make our way in towards turn 11. On the kink of 12. On towards turn 13. Oh, Lewis there. Oh, sorry, Slimbo getting out of shape there. Lewis clipping the back of Slimbo. Again, he has to be careful about doing that. As we now head our way towards turn number 14. Drop you here, the QVR car still on the back of Lewis. Lewis, again, the only CPI car in this race so far, but he's making absolute light work of this so far. He's loving this. He may have had that contact at turn 13. There was nothing he could have done about that. He doesn't let that get to him, although he's got to stop. Tap in the back of Slimbo there. One more of those, and that could be front wing damage, even more than what he has now. But QVR Verstappen here, still leading this train of 6th place here as we head in towards the final 2 corners. This is where Lewis will struggle for grip. There you can see through 23, he just ran wide completely there. Dropia in the QVR car, still looking for that way past. But keep an eye on this battle for 6th place right now, because this could get absolutely tasty as we head through 6 and towards turn 7 here. Now heading in towards turn 5. And the QVR car still just about ahead. But look at this now. Look at Slimbo closing in. Where will Lewis go? Can Dropia take advantage of this one as well? Look at this. Dropia looking for a move. Couldn't quite find it. And, oh, they were relatively calm into turn 7 there. I didn't quite expect that. They say prepare for anything. I was not prepared for it to be single file into turn 7 there. And as someone has mentioned in the chat, well, why aren't you mentioning Louis? 8 seconds ahead of Rafa. Well, he's just doing a perfect job. There's nothing to report. He's absolutely loving it out there. Dropia, meanwhile, gets ahead of Lewis then. And Lewis, maybe with his front wing damage, he'll experience more front end wear on his tyres. And that could be his downfall towards the end of the race. As again, he taps the back of the car ahead. He's got to be careful because that could be front wing off entirely. Meanwhile, Amir still keeping tabs on Rafa, although they are teammates, so I don't think they're going to battle each other too hard. But look at this battle here for 7th place. Verstappen is in 6th place. He's just letting it happen behind him. That's all he's doing. That's all he needs to do. Meanwhile, Slimbo here is falling into the clutches of Dropia. Maybe this is a part of the team orders as well, is for Verstappen to try and back Slimbo into Dropia. The only problem is that we've already seen Lewis has taken full advantage of that by trying to get past Dropia. There you can see Slimbo runs a little bit wide through 21 as we now head through 22 as Vaporon finally passes the retired car of Will G. He's now up to 13th place. Dropia still looking for that move. No way through for him. Meanwhile, Deneen now gets ahead of Lewis, and I think that early momentum has come crumbling down, not only with the front wing off, but also with that front end wear. It's going to be increased. Meanwhile, Cohen there up the inside of Forbes into turn 7. Can he try and hold on there? Very close racing between them, heading now down towards turn 8 there, and Cohen gets the move done. Up to 4th place he goes. Forbes down to 5th. And, well, that really sums it up for TTG. What could have been with Will G and Forbes, it all just came crumbling down. Oh, it's a car off in the background. I think that was Lewis. It was. It was Lewis at turn 14. Went straight into the wall. Just understeered there. And he's retired entirely. Why has he done that? In a point and a crucial moment where CPI need points, he's retired. My word. Well, what a race he could have had. What a race it should have been. But for Lewis, it will be no more. For CPI in this race, it will be no more. Well, lap 12. These laps have been flying by, haven't they? We're running the ball with Dropia as he still tries to chase down Slimbo here. Heading now in towards turn number 18, I believe this is. Then we head towards... No, it's a little bit earlier than 18. But Dropia getting a little bit of opposite lock then. A little bit of oversteer through the left-hander there. Now we head towards turns 20 and 21. Slimbo, you can see, putting that pressure on Verstappen ahead of him. Onwards we go towards 22 and 23. Flicking the car through there is Slimbo. Now on towards the start-finish straight. 3 laps to go here in Singapore under the floodlights here. Heading now in towards turns 1, 2 and 3. Verstappen still doing enough to hold off against Slimbo, but we've got the DRS zone coming up then as we head towards turn number 5. Heading through 5, still in that slipstream now. Verstappen will have to do a lot of defending with that ERS battery. But here is Slimbo then with the DRS. You can see Verstappen goes defensive to the inside there. There's not really a lot of places that Slimbo can go. He can try a little bit of a switchback here as we head now towards turn 8. And again, Verstappen is driving the widest QVR car you've ever seen around Singapore. He's doing really well to defend here. Meanwhile, Amir and Rafa only separated by 0.3 of a second, but they have let Louis run away with it. Absolutely run away with it. 10.1 seconds ahead of his teammate Rafa. He's in dominant form here, and what could have been as well at Germany. Oh, Verstappen's lost it. Verstappen lost it on the exit of turn 13, and he's fallen. He's given away 2 positions here, and Slimbo now goes up to 6th place. He just couldn't get the power down there, and that has cost him. Well, one thing's for sure then. Slimbo will be absolutely thrilled with that one. Now the highest running Livid Academy car. Remember, there's only 2 of them left, with Sam and Spag retiring in pretty much the same place at turn 12. So Slimbo now will be looking to try and eat into Forbes' time as much as he can, but 9.3 with only 2 laps to go. That's a big, big question that is asked there. Now, of course, there are penalties. I don't think there's been many of them. There hasn't been as many of them as there were in Germany, even though this is a track where penalties can reign supreme. Obviously, you've been watching the bottom left-hand corner more than I have, because you would have spotted all the penalties. I know you would have. Meanwhile, then, Louis still pretty much a league ahead as we now head in towards turns 12 and 13 as we head over the bridge. Dropia, meanwhile, right behind Slimbo as we head now towards turn 7. Dropia, will he try and move? No, he won't. Backs out of it. Not the time. He wants a DRS on the last lap. That's exactly what he's planning here as we head in towards turn 8. Slimbo not getting the greatest exit. Here's Verstappen here again, trying and maneuver and try and create a move for himself here as we head our way towards the old Singapore sling of turn 10. And again, very, very easy to overcommit through turn 10 there. Through 11, through turn 12, onwards and over the Anderson Bridge there, down towards turn 13. And again, very, very close behind. But not quite enough so far, but you can tell he's trying to engineer a move for the last lap of this race, for the last lap where he can have DRS. That's exactly what he's doing. He's just letting Slimbo know he's there, and Slimbo has to defend. Let's have a look at the telemetry here. There you can see, look how much battery he's saved up compared to Slimbo as well. That is going to be used down that back straight through turn 6. That is absolutely what is going to happen here. And I wonder now, as Louis starts the final lap of the race, there he is, making his way now through turn 6. I wonder if these two, Rafa and Amir, will go for a little bit of a battle on the final lap. They've done extremely well here. Yellow flags out there in Sector 3. Here comes Amir. Will he try a move? No, he won't. He'll stay back and be very well behaved there in towards turn 7. So they really are working together. A well-oiled machine is an understatement. Who's off here? It's Vapor on here, who now has to get out of the way of the car of Maladiktis there. But Louis, well, my oh my, turn 13 he is at right now, 12.2 ahead of his nearest rival. And his nearest rival was his teammate. Absolutely dominant drive from Louis so far. And he's only got a couple of corners to go. In towards the 90-degree section we go. Not long now before another ILRT 1-2-3 is confirmed. But of course, there could be penalties. You never know. It's not over till it's over. Vapor on there getting a 3-second time penalty. I don't think he'll care too much about that. But now Louis making his way around the final couple of corners. The final double left-hander to go. And Louis will win for ILRT in Singapore. What a dominant drive from Louis. Absolutely brilliant there. He proved the pace he had in Germany. And he's only cemented that in Singapore. Rafa comes across the line. He will finish in second. Amir will jump him on penalties. And I think that's why Amir did not go for the move. He knew he had it anyway. Cohen then comes across the line in 4th place with Forbes finishing in 5th. Slimbo will, I think, just about hold off Dropia in the final couple of corners to take home 6th place and the highest finishing Livid Academy car. Dropia in 7th place with Verstappen there will cross the line in 8th place. But Siege will drop Deneen for 9th place up the order through penalties. Vaporon is out there, as is Maladiktis. As we now make our way in towards the final couple of corners. Maladiktis here again. Well, every position scores points. That's the important thing. And for these 12 cars, they will make it to the checkered flag, or at least they, well, on paper they will. As Maladiktis will be the lowest finishing QVR car. Vaporon will be the lowest finishing TTG car. But they will score points. They'll score more than their teammates have, as Vaporon is just going to keep it in one piece now as he makes his way towards the start-finish line and the checkered flag. But another 1-2-3 for ILRT. And this time, Louis takes the win in Singapore. Is this going to be a familiar sight? An ILRT 1-2-3? I wonder. Well, take nothing away from the dominant performance from Louis. He's absolutely earned this one, especially after his fantastic drive in Germany. A well-earned win for Louis. Well, now we'll get you your official, unofficial results for the second race in Esports Mini League 1. And it is Louis who finishes on top of Singapore. He wins here under the floodlights. Amir in second place with Rafa in third. Cohen in fourth with Forbes in fifth. Slimbo in sixth place with Dropia in seventh. Verstappen in eighth. Siege in ninth. And Deneen in 10th. Maladitis in 11th. And Vaporon, the last point scorer of the race. Lewis, Will G, Spag, Sam, Alex, all retiring from this race. And, well, all ILRT cars finished on the podium. They had a DNS, of course, with Thomas, who didn't make the start because he disconnected just at the wrong moment, at the wrong point, at the worst moment. He didn't get to start this race, but that didn't take away from the dominant performance from ILRT today. Absolutely brilliant. Make sure, if you want to see more of the same action next week, make sure as well you tune in for Esports Mini League 2 with Mr. James Head. You can follow the league on Twitter at Esports Mini. You can also follow me, if you really want to, whilst you're there, at KS McKinley. Do I have to spell my last name? I think I do. It's McGinley. If you remember it, points for you. We're stuck here, I think. We're stuck looking at the Ferris wheel. It's a lovely track, I'll give you that. But yeah, we're not moving anytime soon. That seems like a perfect point to end this one. We'll get you the points next week as well. Points will be updated as we head towards, I believe, tomorrow when we get the updated standings. So make sure you follow at Esports Mini on Twitter so you can follow all the latest from the league there. Well, I need a drink after that, don't you? Right, go on then. Let's have a vote. What was better, Germany or Singapore? Vote now. I know what my vote's for. You're all doing the same as me. You're waiting for the points, aren't you? You can't wait that long. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, well, I don't do the points. I just do the shouty part. Hopefully it works. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that one. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. I've heard a lot of people saying well done to me. I just love what I do, guys, and I hope it shows. But thank you for the compliments. Yeah. Sam Gamer Official says both. Oh, you're absolutely right. Both were fantastic. Robin in the chat saying Germany was better. Germany was better. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more overtaking opportunities in Germany. I think there was more drama in Singapore. I think that's what sways it as well. We'll see if we can get the points in just a short couple of minutes. But talk amongst yourselves. Another question for you guys. Can anyone beat ILRT? Can anyone do it? I mean, 2 1-2-3s in a row. They also had a 7th place in Germany. Only three starters in that race for ILRT. But they look dominant, don't they? They look like I said, a well-oiled machine. They're obviously in the same party. They're obviously in the same chat. They've got that team together, and it's working well. So I wonder if anybody can get anywhere close to them. I wonder. As well as that, don't forget about Mini League 2 as well. There is some good racing going on there as well. Hopefully you're tuning into both as well. Hopefully you block out your Wednesday night this time and next time. We next live on the 29th of January. Note for your diary. For same time. I believe it starts at 7 o'clock and 7:45 GMT for Mini League 2. Then if you want to tune in for Mini League 1, it is at 8:30 GMT and 9:15 GMT. Those are the rough estimates, but we definitely get going at 8:30. So hopefully you'll be joining us next week when we head to Belgium and Japan. 2 great tracks, 2 fan favourites as well. That's the most important thing. So hopefully you will join us for that. I'm just going to see what's going on. I'm just checking as well that I've actually got the right the right Twitter handle. That's the word I was looking for. Well, words that I was looking for. Yeah. So there's no points just yet. But yeah, make sure you do follow at Esports Mini on Twitter for all the latest. I'm sure the points will be updated as soon as possible. And don't forget, you can follow me if you really, really want to. If you feel really inclined, you can do at KS McGinley. That's McGinley. I'm going to wrap up tonight because obviously the points will come eventually. Takes a bit of time because we have to take into account of non-finishers, any ghost cars, all the drivers score points as well wherever they finish, as long as they finish. So we'll leave that to next week, and obviously on Twitter as well if you go follow them. But that'll do it for me, and that'll do it from the stream tonight. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's racing. We hope to see you at the same times next week. But until then, I've been Kieran McGinley. You've been watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.